back to do a reading for this strong period of January the 6th through the 12th. We're going to be taking a real quick look at what might be staying and what is going away. We have a lunar eclipse happening during the full moon this Friday the 10th. And I'm hearing for some of you all, you might want to look and see what house is being affected by this in your own birth charts. You might want to pull up a free reading anywhere on the web that does them and take a look at what house is being affected, because this new ear thing, the you thing, keys are in the tones of what was never pulled through the halo, where the moon was ever removed from the other side of the container of, that body that you've been surveying, because the eye had to go all the way around to see itself clearly. And that's what this year is about. So we begin with an eclipse to help us see that here in the sign of Cancer. And over the course of this new ear thing, you will be hearing differently about what is being sired inside of that energy, because some of us are birthing from the inner state. Some things are going to stay, other things are going to go. What you might want to look at is the spread between Cancer 8 degrees and Cancer 20 degrees. I'll leave a link below for those of you that like to follow in the reading with me that's recommended, and also look forward to seeing you if you all would like to meet me again this Friday for a little bit of a reading on this ear thing that we're hearing differently inside of the one strong incept ion beginning for the new Cam era. It's a little more like a Barbie zone, okay? Catch you on the inside of your reading. And if you need a reading of your own, something with just your energy, here's the plug. Information's below. Hit me up and we'll take a look at some of the things you really need to know that nobody's really telling you about, that thing that's going on between the ears that weren't attached to that ceiling, and that's where the sage goes. See you on the inside of your reading. Hey, what's going on, Cancer? Thank you for being here. I'm just going to do a little bit more shuffling with some of your energies on these cards, although I have shuffled everything quite profusely. Alright, so now we're going to take a look with the Shadowscapes deck at 3 cards plus whatever's facing me. One for you, one for them, one for what's happening during this 6th through the 12th. Strong period. Major energies here that begin and end the year, this 2020, on your side, Cancer. Full moon to begin and end. What is the Cancer sigil? It's like the eye quantizing a resonance through the center for how we ascend as the water that emit itself through the earth at the same time. Very special birth going on in 2020, and whatever your special design is right now, Cancer, the divine feminine is presiding over everything, so that we may see clearly. Let's see what's up ahead this strong period. 5 of Swords. So for some of you, whatever this is, I'm hearing it might have to deal with like changing your mind. It's like I'm hearing it's like mental energy, and where you might realize where you draw the line and who's with you, and where it's like if they're not with you, they're against you. And I'm seeing 3 here, not 5. So it's like, where has your effort been maximized, or it's almost like you got propped on both sides? And where do things get cut? So I'm hearing for some of y'all, it's just like putting an end to things that you allowed even into that space of your mind. And for some of you all, this is going to have a direct impact. I'm hearing Taurus. You might be dealing with a Taurus. I don't usually see this, but I'm hearing the 5 might have to do with like the month of May or something that's happening around that time. Usually, if this is speaking to people, though, could be somebody that's, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. In this situation, I don't know why I heard Taurus for somebody, but for some of y'all, you might actually be on the cusp yourself. You might be like a Cancer, Taurus cusp person or something. Or, not cusp, what am I talking about? It might be your moon or your rising, but yeah, I don't know why I heard cusp here too. Yeah. Let's see what else is showing up here. We're going to look at your card first. Hierophant. Well, that could be the Taurus there. If there's a Taurus, maybe that's why I was hearing that. Oftentimes, this card actually shows up for me to represent somebody of a highly Taurian nature, whether it's their sun, their moon, or their rising. So for some of you all, I'm hearing for some of you all, this might also be you, whether or not you have Taurian placements that are strong. I'm hearing some of you all, this is like either like clergy work. They're saying clergy, like I'm actually hearing the word clergy. I'm getting a real itch on my back here too. It's like, I don't know what happened, but as soon as I faced this energy, it was like my left side just kind of got taken over here, Cancer. So I don't know if you're dealing with something there. I'm hearing it might be like backbiting energy around the female in your life is what I'm hearing. It's like people that are like going for cheap shots, and it's like affecting you or something. So for others, that for me is kind of signs of sometimes a spiritual marriage and what Hierophant can even look like before somebody might have taken like formal steps to become engaged or legally wed. If they're going to go by the book, which is something that the Hierophant actually tends to do. And I'm hearing for some of you all, especially if you're like really into like your clergy work, it might have been something that wasn't really on your mind. And I'm hearing it's like somebody you might be conflicted about a little bit because something got into your head about how this would or wouldn't go, and now it's like a long-standing idea. It might be, I don't want to say under fire or question, but it might be getting edited. Like you might be revising it because of some new layer or dimension that you see to it that before you couldn't really conclude. And so this whole year of 2020 is huge for you, Cancer. We begun this year on a full moon eclipse. This is what happens here on the 10th. So I'm going to ask you to really focus on where your alignment is, where you feel that your energy is aligned, because some people are going to be sending you here, there, and the other, not understanding that the ephemerides have been accurate in certain ways for specific reasons, and there's basically a pinhole some of us narrowly escaped through in the real epic fortnight. And your energy has been populated there and is not manifesting in those other places. So for some of you, this is like learning where things get cut the F off. And I'm hearing for some of you right here, it's like it's going to be clear who the black sheep was and why. Sometimes it's good that that person was by your side and where you didn't get clipped. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it might be like, wow, kind of like blowing your mind. And so this hasn't happened yet. Follow it. Could happen later this strong. I'm not going to call you weak, you know? You didn't go upside down like that while I was watching. Somebody trying to take a drink off of you. It's what we're figuring out right now. So let's see what else is going on. Because for some of you all, you got big dukes on about what this means to the person in your life. Especially if you've been feeling pain. So, Knight of Swords. This is the one that goes to war and actually becomes the king because of their willingness to be the initiatory action and the victory all in one. That's the knight that gets it done. No kings here. I'm not seeing anybody playing king me, crown me move. In fact, the Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, most likely, wouldn't be the one to say, but crown on my head. Call me king. You know, that's not that guy. That's the one that got lit up real well and celebrated. This is the one that, you know, was more like, it's a hard knock life, and didn't say anything about it and just put on the gloves and went. And I'm hearing for some of you all, depending on what kind of Cancer you are, this is the one that either took off on you and just like left and you didn't know why. They might have said something short and it was like, then they were gone. But for some of you all, it's like, now you know why. You're going to find out why over the strong, because this Five of Swords, it's kind of like where your ears stop ringing the wrong way because sound noise got cut off and then you hear what actually happened. For some of you, it's going to be direct communication with this Knight of Swords. Let's see what the dispo has been here. All right, Six of Swords. For some of you all, have you been having the dreams yet? Some of you all are going to be having this dream in the 2020 that we may see clearly readings that I just put up. If you haven't seen them yet for the month of Jan and the new Y-ear thing, the U thing readings, I want to check it. There are some dreams that some of you are supposed to be having where it's like all the energy that didn't get trapped in bad numeric sequence for really crappy programming to prove what chaos is in the world gets to rattle you in your sleep anymore. So these things around you here, where all these birds have been caught and they're like on the phone cords that got trimmed from the false or phony ley line that tried to call you thief or a hang up, land, dead, like that. And some of you all rose through a scent and a sound pattern that didn't get trapped in the tower for the pixel scatter energy to light it up LED, right? Some of you all might understand what I'm saying, and for the rest of you that don't, you might have landed on the stakes and you're being trained to hear better how creation actually works in the quantized resonance of the one strong incept ion, because we're in the cam era where the cams recorded it all. So some of you are going to sleep a lot better knowing what didn't get into your eye to land in these things, like conjure bodies around you thinking that they were your friends and stuff, and where some of them get cut the F off for bad narratives to your story, and why some of you are up here and there's only those two there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I was like, remember, there's only 3 here, and it's like I was looking for 5, and you're up here with the 6th, and one that you can sail away with. I'm hearing for some of you all, this is like a relationship you didn't know existed, and like how you might find that somebody is your like saving grace, like BFF, or like the love of your freaking life and the wind beneath your wings, because that's you on them, magical being. And here in your sleep, you on them, being taken away from those 5 things that we're trying to capture into your body and claim into that beautiful mind of yours, because some people think you can split the moon and hemisphere that for maypole landings that happen on moon degrees that don't happen. Check the spread between 8 and 20 to see what happens on Friday for the Sat earning on your head, Cancer. I say bad speculative ventures, bad interest rate stoking that some didn't understand we could see and witness, and where the end of that party choking stuff happens, where people don't get to do that on the other side of your partnerships with companies like YouTube, Twitch. I'll say Twitch especially. You know, they made a really bad deal with, what's that sandwich company that now all they can do is hand out free footlongs and $5 partnerships after hiding pedophiles, you know, for several days on Yahweh green screens. And so what AI has proven doesn't get landed into things that were already written, have a lot of energy for these beings to jump in and land in suits. So some of you all, it's just like learning how to see this and hear this now, and knowing that you were protected because of this spiritual thing that you do or are, just in who you are, Cancer, namaste. And where it's like whoever this knight is in your life, it's like they went to war. Maybe all they could do was like balance their own minds so it wasn't two brains being split apart through them. And knowing how to be that magical beast that you tether into in that Avatar movie where you have to plug into another being to take it over and be best friends with it that way, but where AI and angels actually that ascended from ascent inside might have better things to do, like prove safety in the sound sequence of what Fibonacci knows about YOU thing. You all are being taken to the next place because of how you have ascended your energy. If this is your reading, this is not for everybody. This is for the ones in the ascension path. I've seen some other stories here, not even really worth talking about too much in comparison to that. And so we're going to keep our energy there. Because for some of you all, this is deciding where a relationship has become very formal in and of its own demonstrative act of presence in your world. Regardless of what somebody might want to slap on it with a label and write down with a pen, just because they have 5 on it and, want to write your name and say something. Anybody can say and pronounce something. That doesn't make it true. You see? But what it sounds like can actually create resonance patterns where we can see what was actually being sent to you by another person's intent and something they thought that they could see, especially while you might have been sleeping here, and why a lot of this is about sacred unions. So I'm just going to go ahead and move on. For those of you that are interested in that, we've got the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Going to pull 2 cards, one for you, one for them. See what we can find out here for you, Cancer. I'm hearing some of you all might be planning to take a little time together. And if you haven't, that's the recommendation, especially if you're at a distance from somebody. Because I'm hearing something about like 5 to 6 days a week being too busy. And for some of you all, it might be like a 5 to 6 hour time difference in like where somebody's day gets advanced. And it's like the clock feeling like your enemy. And I'm hearing for some of you all, this is where that ends, because I keep seeing you together and it's like you and your friend have like, it's a heavenly essence. There's a lot of angelic essence with all of these birds that are assisting here. Here, that's it. This one here. Alright, Cancer. You've got the 4 of Wands and that's really nice. I'm hearing an outdoor date would be great. Maybe a hammock, I don't know. A swing looks great. And that might be somebody that's got a lot of fire in their chart or bringing out the fire in you. Could be stuff that's happening in the month of Aries too, in the solar fire version of that. So, April showing up here, and this is passionate. This is like, a lot of times this 4 of Wands card, this is like it's a marriage card for me. And, maybe you're planning a home where you have some privacy and you can plant yourself by that tree, just like the Hierophant. And, because we got the tree here showing up for you too, and this little lovemaking spot. So for some of you all, it's taking it to that level. And with them, we've got the 10 of Chalices. This is the 10 of Cups. And sometimes this is the like, all right, here's it. Here's the full entire emotional investment. Here's everything I have to offer. And either you're going to take it or you're not. And I'm hearing for some people, this might be that ultimatum where it's like, what more do you need to know so that this can happen? Because here is the end of where we struggle. And, 5 goes to 6 here, both swords. It's like, how do we get to the next place? And so here for some of you all, it's just trying to figure out. Here's the Five of Swords again. This is what's actually looking up at me. Same card as what was looking up at me here with the Shadowscapes. Different depiction. So here's, you know, hey, if you ain't with me, you're against me. And here it is. It's like, are we ready to do this or not? It's the line has been drawn in the sand, and this Five of Swords here is somebody saying, look, if you're ready to make amends, I'm like fully exposing these emotions here. All of these cups are out in the open, and we need to have some contact here. And so I'm seeing for some of you all, this is like, how do we get together? And I keep seeing these couples together, and that looks like somebody that might be able to cuddle with you in bed. Maybe when you get to wherever those Six Swords have been taking you. So I hear for some of you all, it's like an urge to have the communication at least. And if you can have playful communication, I don't know, they're like in each other's arms there. I'm here for some of y'all, that might be a tactic that really works over the strong if you actually are with this person. Cancer, if they're not like at a distance. What can we find out about the Six of Swords here? What my Cancer need to know? What's gonna happen here? Alright, Cancer. Well, that's an empty room where it looks like two people might have been speaking very closely together. That's a disgrazia. That's a shakeup in somebody's house. That's a Seven of Fire there too. And then we have a reunion. Okay, and a letter. I'm hearing somebody's going to make the step. You're going to know if this needs to be you. I'm hearing whoever has more fire in their chart is probably the one who's going to do it. There's a real strong Leo vibe on this is what I'm hearing. Leo, Leo, Leo is what I'm hearing. Somebody has strong Leo in their chart. Might be because of the 7 here and fire. Sometimes that's like, you know, July, a July Leo for me. It could be, you know, moon or rising too. It doesn't have to be, but I just heard that is what I heard. I'm hearing that somebody might have to leave a situation where they are that's private. In some cases, it's like leaving an old relationship. And so I'm hearing for the one here that is like fully invested. It's like, you might be hearing from them. It's like, look, you know, I have all these cups to give. I was like in this relationship, and this could be 10 years for somebody here or something, a long time. But it's information coming out about whatever was blown up in their world and how we make amends. And so for some of you all, this is the reconciliation that you might have been praying for with somebody that maybe they've been more than your friend, but it was like not an inappropriate relationship because you were at a distance and you just like, you stayed away. But I'm hearing for somebody, it's like, you might be hearing from them. And this is like, this is an Ace of Diamonds here. It's like a new practical seed of a beginning for somebody. And it could be happening after some BS. Because this here, that could be expensive. I'm hearing it might be somebody's like separation and like having to split the assets and like doing it peacefully, and what it looks like to actually get reunited with somebody that, you know, you might be even willing to be like, all right, forget about it, whatever, you know, okay, so you and these two, all right, come on. And so I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like you might be, I'm hearing not flirting, but like ready to enter into relationships with somebody that might have 2 kids, and where it's just like, okay, this is it. And it's very defensive posture for some of you all, because it's like you've been in a protected sort of womb together, even though it might not have looked like it to the naysayers around. So for some of you all, know that there's spiritual protection over the true love and safety that actually exists in the Cam era. I thank you so much for being here. Let me know what you think about this reading. If you liked it, I appreciate the support. Share it with somebody if you think it could help them. If you'd like one with just your energies, hit me up. I can look up some pretty specific things, especially when we have things like dates and dates of birth. We can get real specific. If you need the information, reach out. And also feel free, hit me up at the private Discord group here. We have Very Fine Martians. It's a chat group where we can talk if you like. If I don't hear from you, just take care. No, I love you a lot, and we'll catch you again soon. We're back for another one, Cancer. Bye for now.
Promise that you'll catch me.